Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Victoria Ajayi Bembe. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. To all my returning subscribers, thank you guys so very much. I am so grateful. And if you're yet to subscribe, please make sure you hit the please make sure you hit the subscribe button down below right now. Just hit it now so that you will not forget. Please make sure you subscribe. Today we are talking about how to set healthy boundaries. This is going to be a very interesting one because trust me guys, if you don't have boundaries in your life, people are going to use you. They will use you. You will realize that people are users. Anyway, today we'll be talking about how to set healthy boundaries in every of your relationships. So if this is something you find interesting, please make sure you keep on watching. Welcome back guys. Today we're talking about setting boundaries, and like I said in the introduction, it is very important in every relationship you have that you set boundaries. The reason is because people don't usually know where to draw the limit or where to set the limits in relationships. So it is very important that you as a person, you draw the limit for them and you let them know that okay, this is where you cannot cross. I love you so much, I appreciate you, I can do anything for you, but you see, when you get to this particular level, you need to like back off, okay? And I think we all need that in our life because like I said, if you don't have boundaries in your life, people are going to test you. They will use you. They will manipulate you. If you watch my video on handling manipulators or how to handle emotional manipulators, if you haven't, the link is up here. If you watched it, I shared a story about a friend of mine's relationship whose boyfriend was still in contact with the ex because the ex knows the things that triggers the guy, and every time she will send messages and the guy is always on a beck and call, not because they have anything romantic going on, but the girl will use stuff like suicide and this and that to get the guy's attention, and it was beginning to cause a problem in their relationship. So those are some of the ways in which people don't know where to draw the line. They don't know that when you break up, you are supposed to break up. You are supposed to go your separate ways. It doesn't mean we become enemies. I mean, it's not in every breakup that you become enemies. Sometimes you still talk, but there are supposed to be some limits. There are some time you are not supposed to call me, because the more you indulge people's excesses, the more they take advantage of you. Where do I start from now? When we're talking about sexual advances and teaching your children how to how to set boundaries for themselves and not allow uncles to touch them here and touch them there, it's also the same for us, even as adults. Because for instance, I used to have like a co-worker who to him, he just found it, whenever he sees the person, the next thing he does is to hug you or to touch you. He doesn't see anything wrong with it. That is just the way he is, But to me, like, I don't condone it. I don't like people touching me. I don't know why. I don't know, unless I know you very well, and then we touch, we play, we hug and everything. But you're a co-worker, there should be a limit. Let's shake hands. Let's talk. How far? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. But this guy, when he sees me in the morning, he just wants to hug me. He hugs me, not even want to. And he would touch me here and touch me, hey, any small thing. When he's talking, he's touching. Like, he cannot talk without touching a person. And somehow it irritates me. And when I just started working there, I didn't know how to say it because I realized that this was how this guy was with every other person in the office. So it would be somehow if I'm the only one complaining. But at a point, I had to let him know that, guy, I'm sorry, but I don't really like it when people touch me, because that was me trying to set boundaries for him that, listen, I don't like it when people touch me. And there are times that because that is who he is naturally, when he's talking, maybe he mistakenly touch me, he just say, I'm sorry, and I'll be like, no problem. But that created a kind of a conscious limit for him to know that, okay, this person doesn't like this thing and I will not do it. So it's the same thing. Now imagine if I had not told him. And that's one of the things, some of us, we can pretend. We pretend like all this is, we are fine with it, we are okay with it, we don't want problem, we don't want issues, so we accept a lot of things. Now the problem now is the day that it's going to meet us in a bad mood, or it's going to meet us in a bad day, when we now react, we are going to overreact, because you have bottled up those feelings and bottled up everything. When people are testing your boundaries and everything, you bottle them down, or you bottle them up. Is it up or down? Anyone? You kept it in your mind, and now when it takes you off on a particular day, then you overreact, you shout, you yell, or you just react in a very kind manner. And then the person will be like, what's your problem? It's not the same way I've been doing it all this while. Why is it that it's today particularly that you're making an issue out of it? And you won't be able to let them know that, okay, I don't like this thing, but the problem will not be that, but this is what I've been doing all this while. I don't think it's about this thing. I think it's about something else. And then you will not be able to pass the message that you need to pass because you have allowed it to go for too long. So that's why it is very, very important that you set physical boundaries for yourself. Physical boundaries also has to do with, even your space, especially sometimes at work. Okay, there are some colleagues who don't, I'm telling you, people lack limits. They don't know where to draw the line. They will just come on your desk, email will come in and they will read it, they will go through the files on your desk, they will, there is no boundaries at all. So it is your job to let them know that, hey, when I'm not on my desk, don't come to my desk. If you need to drop something, drop it and go. Don't go through my files, don't go through my emails. That's like a height of disrespect. Okay, and there are some other people that will just barge into your house. I don't know if it was a friend who was telling me the story of our other friends who when she was single, they could just come into her house and barge in and they would play and it was nothing. But then she got married, and this lady would just come into her house, not knocking, not calling to tell him, hey, I'm coming or anything. She'll just barge in and it became an issue, and she had to let her know that, hey, listen, things are different now. You cannot just barge into my house. You cannot just, you need to call before coming. And this lady took it to heart, because you don't marry now. The way Nigerians will say, because now you are married, the rest of us, no, that is not how we should be. You should respect people's boundaries so that they should respect yours. But there are some people that they are boundary abusers. Because they don't have boundaries, they don't understand what boundaries mean. And it is your job to set your boundaries for them. Physical boundaries, especially also in workplace, also has to do with maybe your break time or your me time. When you've worked, you are supposed to work for 8 hours and you have this particular time that you're supposed to go for your break, or have it as your time to recuperate, or how do they used to say it? And to unwind, and then some co-workers will just come and and start giving you work at your break time. So it is your job to let them know that this is my me time. Sometimes honestly, some people don't know boundaries. Sometimes even when you're in the bathroom, somebody will pursue you into the bathroom and be talking to you about something that is irrelevant, and they know you are in the bathroom. So you need to let them know that, hey, let me come out and then we can discuss this thing. Or else, trust me, like I said, people are going to test your limits if you don't set a boundary for them. So physical boundary is very, very important. Okay, another example I can give about physical boundaries is, I used to have this friend who, if she has not entered into your face, she's not talking. She whenever she wants to talk, she will come so close to your face, and one way I would try to step back, but because it is her nature, while she's talking, before she has moved an inch closer, and I have to let her know that, sister, stay there, don't cross this line, stay there and say what you want to say. It's ear they used to hear, it's not mouth or it's not face. So it is your job to set boundaries. No matter how ridiculous a person might think it sounds, always make sure that this is my boundaries, this is my limits, and this is what I want, and this is what I do not want. This particular person, she gave me her phone and said, oh, look at this image. And the next thing I did, subconsciously or unconsciously, was to start scrolling through the image to see if there were more images. And she was like, no, that was not what I asked you to do, this was what I asked you to look at. So that's a way for her to set boundaries. And since then, I have, when anybody, even till now, when anybody give me a phone to look, what they ask me to look is what I'm looking for, unless they tell me to scroll. That is when I scroll. So that is a way of setting physical boundaries. I was seeing some posts on social media that are before you FaceTime me, text me. That is a way of setting boundaries. You can't just FaceTime me. You don't know if I'm naked. You don't know if, if anything is happening, you just, video call me. Especially on Facebook, I always tell people, if you mistakenly call me on Facebook Messenger, I will block you straight. Especially if we have never had any interaction whatsoever. People are that, I don't know, they are that invasive. You just sent me a friend request and I accepted it on Facebook, and the next thing you are calling me video call for what? For what? I just block you, because that's an invasion of privacy. You cannot do that, okay? So if you are one of those people that usually do that, please stop doing it. If you said hi to a person and the person refused to answer you, the person read it and you saw that the person read your message, but the person did not respond, if at all you want to, if you send hi the second time or the third time, the person did not respond, madam, oga, walk away. The person does not have your time. Don't keep harassing people on their social media platform. That's insulting, And then some will even come as much as saying, oh baby, oh baby girl, sexy, sweet leg. I'm like, who is this person? That just gives me a way to just block you. So please and please and please learn to respect people's boundaries, and you as a person know where to set your boundaries. So those are some of the ways in which you can set your physical boundaries, and it is very, very important, even for the close relationships in your life. Sometimes you just need to get away. Sometimes you just need to like have your me time, you know. Sometimes in the morning maybe you have your quiet time and all of those things. I don't want to even give that example, but yes, so that's it. So make sure that you try as much as possible to, you know, set your physical boundaries, you know, and then and then the next type of boundaries is emotional boundaries. Now, this one, as physical boundaries, cannot be measured. You cannot say, okay, this is the boundary. This is like physical boundaries. It's like, it's more easier to set physical boundaries to let them know, okay, this is a place that you cannot pass. But when it comes to your emotions, it is a tricky idea, and it is where most people are mostly violated when it comes to setting boundaries. Now, emotional boundaries is like you not knowing how to separate your feelings from that of others. You are a very, like, if you're a person like me who is very passionate and very affectionate, you might have issues with emotional boundaries, and people might take advantage of you emotionally. I won't spend much time on this because I talked about it when I was talking about emotional manipulators. But just to give a brief highlight, it has to do with when you don't know how to separate your feelings from others. You are always, you know, feeling what people are feeling. Even what they are not feeling, you are helping them to feel it. You get? So you don't know where to, you know, draw the line when it comes to emotion, when it comes to, you know, your self-esteem and your self-worth. And people take advantage of you. They take advantage of your beliefs, of your values, of your choices, you know. So if, for instance, you're in a relationship and you believe in celibacy and all of that, but the partner you are with does not believe in that, you need to let them know before you enter into a relationship. And I think that's where the issues are, because people don't set boundaries before they get in, and then they get in and they feel trapped. So you have to let them know that, hey, before we enter into this relationship, this is who I am, these are my values, these are the things I want and the things I don't do, you know, when it comes to, you know, especially when it comes to your romantic relationship, because that's where a lot of emotions are involved. So if you don't have emotional boundaries, people's words, people's opinion about you are going to affect you greatly. If you don't have emotional boundaries where you feel like, okay, these are the, like, when it comes to my emotion, I don't let other people's emotion dictate my emotions. That's just basically it. Whereby if you don't have those kind of boundaries in your life, people's words, people's thoughts about you, people's feelings about you, people's opinion about you is going to dictate your feelings. So if you're a person who is very passionate, or you have issues with emotional boundaries, so you need to know how to set emotional boundaries, or else people's words, people's opinion, everything is going to affect you. What people say is going to make you feel downcasted. When a person condemns you or criticizes your work, even if you know that this is the best that it could be, you know, you will still find issues, you know, you will still struggle emotionally. For instance, you put out a video and, you know, you have like 1,000 likes, but you have one dislike, and then you allow that to, you know, to take over your mind or take over your feelings and your emotions and everything. You don't have emotional boundaries, okay? Having emotional boundaries is knowing that, okay, not everybody is going to like me, not everybody is going to accept me, not everybody is going to choose my lifestyle or accept my values, okay? And I should be okay with that, okay? So if a person is criticizing me or anything, I take the good in what they are saying and I leave whatever bullshit they are saying to them, okay? So that is you having emotional boundaries, not accepting, not allowing people's thoughts or opinion, you know, about you to get you down or to make you feel like you are, you know, you are stupid, or make you, you know, feel down, okay? Another downside to emotional boundaries, if you don't have it, is that you will always be sacrificing your dreams, your aspirations, your wants, your values to be able to satisfy another person, because you don't have boundaries. If you have boundaries, you know that, okay, these things I don't accept, these are my values, these are the things that I want, and anybody who does not fit into it, you know, I don't need to fit into a... Now, I know romantic relationship especially, sometimes you need to remold yourself to fit into your partner, but it should also be, you know, a tool. It's not always you trying to fit into somebody's mold, okay? So you have to know that, okay, these are the things I want, these are the things I don't want, and these are the things I cannot compromise on. So if you know that you cannot accept me the way I am, or you cannot accept this particular thing about me, then we probably should not be together. Okay, so you need to know how to set boundaries such that your plans, your goals, your dreams is not being affected because somebody else does not agree with you. Another way not having emotional boundaries can affect you is that you will always find yourself taking responsibilities for things that is not your fault, you know, that you did not do. You are always taking responsibility for somebody else's problem because you don't have emotional boundaries. Like people would, you know, do stuff and put it on you, and you will not be able to defend yourself. That is emotional. That is you not having emotional boundary. It means that you don't have self-confidence. You have a very low self-esteem where you don't have emotional boundaries. So it is very important that you set your emotional boundaries. You make sure that, you know, as much as you're trying to be at peace with people and be loving to people, you also, you know, let them know that, okay, these are the places where you cannot cross. You cannot just like abuse me or insult me or expect me to always, like, you know, deal with your excesses. Okay, you have to come to that realization that you are not responsible for how a person feels or would react to your boundaries. Okay, your responsibility is to set the boundaries, and how they would react or how they'll feel about it is actually not your responsibility. So you have to communicate it to them and also let them know why you need to have those boundaries and why they're important to you, especially if you find yourself in a relationship with a very needy person, like someone who is always about me, like, you know, they always want you to sacrifice your time, your values and everything just to be able to please them. Like, that is that can be really triggering and really annoying. So when you find yourself in a relationship with a person that always wants, you know, your time, he doesn't want you to make friends, doesn't want you to go out, you know, just wants you for himself, or is very possessive and stuff like that, you need to know how to set boundaries. So how do you set emotional boundaries? The first thing to do is to know what are your boundaries. What are the things that ticks you off? What are the things that puts you off? What are the things that you cannot or you don't want to cope with or you cannot cope with? Okay, identifying your boundaries is the first step, and the second thing is learning how to vocalize it. Okay, and be direct. Don't be indirect when you are talking about boundaries. Don't be saying when you are communicating your boundaries, that's not the time to be beating around the bush. That's the time to let them know, to be direct and let them know, okay, these things I don't like it, these things I like it. Because if you are not direct about your boundaries, people always think maybe you are joking or you are teasing, and they'll keep on testing you until, like I said, you explode, and then, you know, everything comes out in the wrong way. Let the person know. And like I said, if it's a romantic relationship, you have to let them know before you start the relationship, or, you know, or if it's like a professional relationship, you know, as you go on, let them know that, okay, these are the things I like, these are the things I don't take, these are the things that, you know, ticks me off and all of that. So know it and vocalize it. And also you need to give yourself the permission to be okay with having boundaries, because, you know, sometimes when you set boundaries, you can struggle with guilt, you can struggle with fear of abandonment, with, you know, fear of retaliation and stuff like that. Sometimes, especially with guilt, to be honest, when you set boundaries in your relationship, sometimes people will make you feel guilty. And the next thing you need to do is learn to stay away from people who do not respect your boundaries as much as possible. People who make fun of you, who make fun of your emotion, or make fun of your beliefs, or use the things you've told them in confidence against you, people who manipulate you, people who don't know boundaries. Try as much as possible to, you know, to stay away from them. If they don't respect your boundaries, stay away. That's as simple as it is. And the next thing is have a healthy self-respect. Learn how to respect yourself. Okay, because, you know, Yoruba will say that it's the name you call your dog that other people are going to call it. So if you don't value or you don't respect yourself, there's no way you will expect people to also respect you. And you also have to learn how to respect other people. So if you're saying that these things you don't want it, you should also learn how not to do it to people, because people will most likely not do stuff that they know that you wouldn't do to them. Okay, so if you're kind of person that you don't like people going over your files or going over your emails and stuff like that, don't do that to other people. So you cannot say that this is my boundaries, but you go on invading other people's boundaries. So you have to make sure that as much as you are setting your boundaries, you are respecting yourself, you are also respecting other people's boundaries. Because, like, you cannot ask me to respect you if you don't respect yourself, and you cannot ask me to respect you when you also don't respect me. So you have to make sure that it is mutually, you know, beneficial. Okay. And the last and final point is, don't stop trying to fix people. Stop trying. It is not your responsibility to, you know, fix somebody's emotion or to carry somebody's burdens in your head. Okay, as much as you can, render help, render assistance where you can, but don't make it your job to fix people, and stop letting the environment around you to dictate how you feel. So I hope this has been helpful to you. If it has, please make sure you leave a comment in the comment section, and please make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and you please make sure that you subscribe if you haven't, and please also make sure that you share this video, you know, if it has been a blessing to you, especially if you know someone who could benefit from this. Thank you so very much for joining me again. My name is Victoria Ajayi Vembe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. People, let me finish recording this video today. You will try it when I'm done. Yeah. I'm not.